There's a truth most people never confront. You can't outperform your mindset. Not in business, not in health, not in relationships, not in life. You can train harder, wake up earlier, grind longer. But if your thinking is weak, no amount of doing will save you. Because success doesn't start with action. It starts with philosophy. It starts with how you see the world. It starts with what you believe is possible for someone like you. And if those beliefs are broken, then everything you build will eventually break too. A man once tried to plant a vineyard on poisoned soil. He worked the land. He watered it daily. He invested in the best tools money could buy. But when harvest season came, nothing grew. Because he misunderstood a simple principle. The seed can be perfect, but if the soil is corrupted, it won't matter. Your mindset is that soil. And your habits, your goals, your ambitions, they're the seeds. So before you write the next plan, before you chase the next goal, before you blame the weather, the market, or the world, ask yourself, what's the condition of my soil? Because no amount of hustle can grow a life inside a mind that's poisoned by fear, doubt, resentment, or laziness. You got to clean the inner ground before you can grow anything meaningful on top of it. Let me say it plainly. You don't get in life what you want. You get what you believe you deserve. And that belief, that's the thermostat of your destiny. People try to think positive without rebuilding their philosophy. They try to work harder without learning how to work better. They try to stay motivated, but they never ask the question, what do I actually believe about myself? About growth? About effort? About failure? You don't rise to your intentions. You fall to your internal identity. And identity is built on mindset. If you believe you're not the type, you'll find a way to sabotage everything you build. You'll procrastinate. You'll overthink. You'll panic. And you'll call it bad luck. But it was never luck. It was your invisible self-image pulling you back to what feels normal. That's the trap. That's the reason success seems like a ceiling, not a staircase for most people. They're not fighting circumstances. They're fighting themselves. You've been given a mind, not a cage. But most people never use it like a tool. They use it like a torture device. They wake up, and their first thoughts are worries. They replay yesterday's failures like highlight reels. They look at someone else's success and immediately say, that could never be me. They think in limits. They speak in complaints. They drown in distraction. And then they wonder why their life stays the same. Listen to me. If your mind is undisciplined, your life will be undirected. Because a broken mindset doesn't just affect your confidence. It affects your perception. It changes how you see problems and whether you even try to solve them. It changes how you deal with time, how you value effort, and whether you give up or grow up. Everything flows from mindset. Everything. So the most urgent question in your life is not, how do I get more? It's, how do I think better? The tragedy of modern life is simple. People try to fix their life on the outside while staying broken on the inside. They switch jobs. They change partners. They move cities. They chase high after high. But you cannot outrun your own thinking. Wherever you go, your mind goes with you. Your patterns follow you. Your beliefs whisper in your ear. Your self-worth drags on your back. And unless you face those shadows head on, you'll keep repeating the same year, calling it new. So stop. Stop blaming. Stop running. Stop performing at 20% of who you are, all because your philosophy is still stuck in survival mode. You're not a victim of your circumstances. You're a victim of your perspective. Change that, and everything changes. Let me give you a hard truth. No one's coming to rescue your mindset. Not your parents. Not your partner. Not your boss. Not your pastor. Not your coach. You. It has to be you. You have to do the inner work. You have to unlearn the beliefs that are holding you hostage. You have to tear down the walls that you keep calling boundaries. You have to develop a mental operating system built not on fear, but on responsibility. Because no matter how much talent you have, no matter how big your dreams are, they will die inside a mind that's not prepared to carry them. A weak mindset kills strong potential. So ask yourself, is my mindset a bridge or a barrier? To fix your mindset, you don't need to become a philosopher. You need to become aware. What do I say to myself daily? What do I tolerate in my thinking? What do I accept as just the way I am? These are not throwaway questions. These are the blueprints of your future. Because mindset is not some motivational slogan. It's not some trendy affirmation. It is the filter through which your entire life is interpreted. And if that filter is cracked, everything looks broken, even when it's not. People with a broken mindset can't see opportunity. They only see obstacles. They don't see growth, they see gaps. They don't see solutions, they see reasons to quit. It's not reality that's broken. It's their lens. So how do you rebuild that lens? You start small. You start by catching your own thoughts. You start by refusing to speak words that shrink you. You start by becoming a student of your own beliefs. And then you challenge them relentlessly. You ask, who told me this had to be true? Where did I learn to settle? Why do I call it reality when it's just repetition? You don't just accept your mindset, you interrogate it. Because the old version of you is shaped by survival. But the future version of you must be shaped by design. And design begins with deliberate thinking. If you want to create a new life, start by thinking new thoughts. If you want to change your reality, start by changing your philosophy. Your mindset must become your strongest muscle, not your weakest excuse. Because life doesn't hand you freedom. It hands you options. And your thinking determines what you do with them. People with a broken mindset will look at opportunity and see risk. They'll look at challenge and see danger. They'll look at discipline and feel restriction. But people with a powerful mindset, they see freedom in effort. They see meaning in adversity. They see gold where others see dirt. And that's the difference. Not talent, not luck, not timing. Mindset, it's the root of everything. So when does it change? It changes the moment you decide you're done being controlled by the old story. The moment you stop letting fear hold the pen. The moment you stop mistaking comfort for peace and avoidance for wisdom. That's when everything shifts. Because no matter how long you've lived with that broken mindset, you are not married to it. You inherited it. You picked it up from the people who raised you. From teachers who told you to stay in line. From a world that rewards conformity and punishes boldness. From failures that convinced you to never try again. But hear me, just because you believed it for years doesn't make it true. You can upgrade your beliefs. You can unlearn the lies. You can interrupt the script. Not someday, today. Because the longer you let that old mindset run the show, the longer you delay the life you're actually capable of living. It's not just about thinking better. It's about becoming better. You must go from being a passive thinker to an intentional architect. You must build thought structures that hold the weight of the life you want. You must construct mental frameworks that are grounded in truth, responsibility, and unshakable standards. And no, this isn't easy. You'll have to catch thoughts that have lived in you for decades. You'll have to confront versions of yourself you've been protecting. You'll have to trade comfort for clarity. But this is what transformation requires. Painful honesty, ruthless responsibility, daily discipline. It's not glamorous. It's not viral, but it's the only way forward. Because you don't rise to the level of your dreams. You rise to the level of your mindset. And make no mistake, this world doesn't reward your effort. It rewards your clarity. It rewards the person who knows what they stand for. It rewards the person who knows who they are when no one's watching. It rewards the person who doesn't need outside permission to go all in. But clarity doesn't come from scrolling. It doesn't come from waiting. It doesn't come from repeating yesterday's thinking and calling it growth. Clarity comes from breaking the mental autopilot, from stepping out of the fog and into the fire of awareness, from looking your current life in the eye and asking, is this the reflection of the person I was meant to become? If not, then don't blame the mirror. Change the image. Because if the life you're living feels like a lie, then maybe it's time to question the mindset that built it. Now listen carefully. This is not about thinking positive. This is about thinking powerfully. Because powerful thinking is not fantasy. It's not delusion. It's not false confidence. It's alignment between what you believe, what you say, and what you do. A powerful mindset doesn't ignore problems, faces them with clarity. It doesn't avoid fear. It studies it, then walks through it. It doesn't reject responsibility. It demands it. It says, I may not control everything, but I control me. I may not be perfect, but I will not be passive. I may have been broken, but I refuse to stay there. That's power. So what now? Now you choose. You choose whether you keep walking with a mindset that sabotaged your progress, or you build the one that serves your potential. You choose whether to keep waiting for someone to save your thinking, or you take the wheel and steer it yourself. You choose whether to stay married to your old limitations, or to divorce the version of you that's been quietly killing your future. Because here's the truth. You will never outperform your mindset, but you can upgrade it. And when you do, your entire life will change. Not gradually, not eventually, but fundamentally. You won't just act different. You'll be different. And once that happens, success will stop feeling like a struggle and start feeling like alignment. So here it is, the line in the sand. This is your turning point. Not a motivational moment, not a dopamine hit, not another one-day fantasy that fades by morning, but a decision, a commitment, a new standard that says, I'm done performing at 30% of who I am. I'm done living inside a mind I never chose. I'm done apologizing for wanting more. From this moment forward, I think different because I am different. This is the fire most people never walk through. This is the internal war most people avoid. They'd rather build dreams on sand than rebuild their foundation. They'd rather blame the weather than admit they planted in the wrong season. They'd rather collect quotes than confront their own philosophy. But not you. Not anymore. Because now you see it. You see how you've been carrying the weight of old beliefs that don't belong in your future. You see how your self-doubt wasn't born in truth. It was passed down, picked up, installed. You see how every excuse was a chain, and every lazy thought a lie. And now, you're not running from those lies. You're facing them. You're naming them. You're unlearning them. And you're replacing them with discipline, clarity, and conviction. This is real change. This is soul-deep transformation. And it begins when you say, I'm no longer available for small thinking. Because here's what no one tells you. A changed life is a byproduct of a changed mind. Not motivation, not chance, not hype. It's mindset. It's mental fortitude. It's who you are on the inside when the noise goes silent. Because eventually, the hustle will fade. The applause will stop. The pressure will mount. And the only thing left will be your thoughts, your philosophy, your inner compass. And that compass? It better point somewhere strong, somewhere honest, somewhere built on values that don't crack under chaos. You don't need another shortcut. You need roots. Roots that say, I do hard things because I'm built for them. I choose growth even when it hurts. I say no to comfort because greatness doesn't live there. I set standards, not goals. I build inner wealth because that's what lasts. This isn't about winning the week. It's about becoming someone who can win their life. So ask yourself now, are you ready to stop outsourcing your thinking? Are you ready to stop performing for approval and start producing results built on purpose? Are you ready to stop blaming your past and start designing your future with precision? Then say this, not as a quote, but as a contract. From today forward, I will not carry weak thoughts into a strong future. I will not negotiate with the part of me that wants to stay safe. I will not perform for people who never built anything. I will build a mind that reflects who I was meant to be, not who I've been trained to be. Because once your mindset changes, your patterns change. And when your patterns change, your outcomes change. And when your outcomes change, the world takes notice. You are not born to think small. You are not designed for mediocrity. You are not placed here to survive the years. You were built to shape them. And if no one ever told you this before, hear it now. You are powerful, but only if you believe it, only if you think it, only if you live it. Because the greatest battle of your life will never be in the marketplace, or in the gym, or in a relationship. It will always be in your own mind. And once you win there, you win everywhere. Now go, rebuild it, upgrade it, protect it, because the world will only rise to meet the strength of your mindset. And you're finally ready. Stop sign, stop performing. Brain, start thinking. Fire and never forget. You can't outperform a broken mindset, but you can rebuild it. And when you do, nothing will ever be the same.